says that God is concealed behind 70,000 veils of light. Were they to be lifted, the fulgurating lights of his face would destroy anyone who looked upon him. However, his attributes are there to be seen quite safely. We can deduce conclusions about these attributes from the saving events recounted in the Quran. The story of Moses, Abraham, the familiar prophetic tales, indicate the way in which God himself intervenes and acts and discloses his ethical nature. But even more conveniently, in the Quran, God also names himself. A number of prophetic hadith indicate that God has 99 names. In the Quran, these are scattered about, and early generations lost no time in assembling them and also pondering them. And there's actually a list that I've included in the handout with the Arabic and the English equivalent. If you scan through these, perhaps at your leisure later on, you'll see that some of them affirm the moral character of deity. So God is the compassionate, the merciful, the loving kind, the just, the clement, and so on. But others point to more abstract truths about God. For instance, the famous closing verses of Surah 59. He is God besides whom there is no other God, knower of the visible and the invisible. He is the compassionate and merciful. He is the God beside whom there is no other God. He is the sovereign Lord, the Holy One, the source of safety, the keeper of faith, the guardian, the mighty, the powerful, the proud. Exalted is he above the partners they ascribe to him. He is God, the creator, the originator, the fashioner. His are the most beautiful names. All that is in the heavens and the earth glorifies him, and he is the mighty, the wise.
Alif Allah chambe di booty te mere murshid man vich lai hu o nafiyas baat da paani de ke har rage har jaai hu वो जुग जुग जीवे मेरा मुर्शिद सोना अते जिसे बूटी लाई हूँ पीर मेरे जुगनी जी ए वे अल्लाह वाले आदि जुगनी जी ए वे अल्लाह वाले आदि जुगनी जी ए वे नबी पाक दी जुगनी जी ए वे नबी पाक दी जुगनी जी ए वे मौला अली वाली जुगनी जी ए वे मौला अली वाली जुगनी जी ए वे मेरे पीर दी जुगनी जी ए वे मेरे पीर दी जुगनी जी ए वे सारे सब्ज़ दी जुगनी जी ए वे सारे सब्ज़ दी जुगनी जी ओ दम गुटकू 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 गुटकू करे साईं ते कलमा नबी दा पढ़े साईं पीर मेरे आ जुगनी जी ए वे अल्लाह वाले आदि जुगनी जी ए वे अल्लाह वाले आदि जुगनी जी ए वे नबी पाक दी जुगनी जी ए वे नबी पाक दी जुगनी जी ए वे मौला अली वाली जुगनी जी ए वे मौला अली वाली जुगनी जी ए वे मेरे पीर दी जुगनी जी ए वे मेरे पीर दी जुगनी जी ए वे सारे सब्ज़ दी जुगनी जी ए वे सारे सब्ज़ दी जुगनी जी जुगनी तार खाई विच थाल
जुगनी तार खाई विच थाल
छੱਡ दुनिया दे जंजाल
ਛੱਡ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਜੰਜਾਲ
कुछ नहीं निभना बंदिया नाल
ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਿਭਣਾ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ
ओ जुगनी तार खाई विच थाल
having a body. So God has no body. He is not a physical form. Bodies are always occupying space. Bodies are always delimited in time and space. God is not like that. He does not belong to the temporal world. He is not time-bound. He is not space-bound. He is not delimited. Every body is delimited in 6 ways. Right? It has a front, it has a back, it has a top, it has a bottom, it has an east or a west or a left or a right. And it may be complex in its form, but always there is a north and a south, an east and a west, a top and a bottom, a left and a right, a front and a back, a top and a bottom. There is no mountain that doesn't have a top. Bodies have to be delimited, and Allah Azza wa Jal is not like that. He is not a body. Okay, and He is not an arad. He is not a secondary cause. Again, we said He doesn't have color. That is a secondary cause. And He's not a color, and He's not a nature, and He's not a force, and He's not a power, and He's not goodness. Those are all secondary attributes. Okay, that's not what He is. He is the living, knowing, speaking, willing, powerful, hearing, seeing, eternal God, whose existence is necessary outside of time and place. He is the creator of time and place, and He relates to you in time and place more intimately than you relate to yourself. This is one of the effects of being the Lord of time and place. He's closer to you than your jugular vein. He knows more about you. وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ وَنَعْلَمُ مَا تُوَسْوِسُ بِهِ نَفْسُهُ. You know that verily we created the human being knowing. Doesn't mean and we know. It means knowing, in the state of knowing what his self will insinuate to him. وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ. And we are closer to him than the jugular vein. Okay, but God is not in you, and He is not outside of you, and He is not touching you, and He is not touching you. He is not connected to you. He's not disconnected to you. And some of our scholars like to use the word transcendent, and they use it for tanzih. Okay, and they're allowed to do whatever they want to do. But God is not transcendent in the theological or metaphysical sense that He is outside of the world, because that's what transcendent meant metaphysically. That He is outside the heavens. He is above the heavens. And that is a belief that destroyed Christianity. It's a very common belief of the ancient period, the belief in transcendent God. And He's not immanent. He's not in the world either. We're not pantheists. Okay, and we are also not people who believe that God is outside of the world. He's not in the world or outside the world. That's not how He relates to the world. He is the creator. He is the necessary being. He is unlike anything, okay? And He's not love, right? Love is a secondary quality. God has the attribute of love for those, but He is not love. He is not the force. He is not the way. He is not nature. Okay, He is not an attribute. He is an essence. He's not a changing attribute. Did you have a question, Alia? Can you say it again? Is God omnipresent? God is omnipresent in the sense that He knows, hears, and sees everything. He is with things in His knowledge, but He is not in things or on things or connected to things. Do you understand? So